Oh. Oh. Sister, welcome to the Oat Podcast.
Wait, I'm going to need you to pause.
Season 2. No, we're starting. Just get literally everything's recording.
Just making sure how I look in these.
All right. Hello. Welcome to Season 2 of the Oat Podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
It's been like a year since we've recorded.
It's been so long.
I know. We have some new gadgets here.
So much fun figuring those out today. She almost took my eye out.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, can you?
The applause?
No.
Oh, it's because it's not up. Here. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Woo, we're back.
I can't with you.
So I did try to get like arms for these so we didn't have to hold them. So that's why we have some funky
She
mics.
tried to give me a black eye before we even started.
We're going to be positive today. Okay. I told
I think it's funny.
I told Instagram to give us some thoughts and prayers, even though I don't do either of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really sure what you're saying, but okay. I feel like nervous a little bit
Why?
to be back recording to start. I mean, I don't know.
Also, side note, this tea is really gummy.
Really gummy.
Yummy. It's been a long fucking day already. Don't start with me.
So just for everyone to know, so Jessica's having a bad day because TikTok's going away. I do want to talk about that in a later segment, but just up top, if she seems like she's a little bit sad, it's because she is sad.
It's like a really big deal, guys.
It is. I mean, you do have a community, I guess, just like up top.
I do. Yeah. It's just a little sad to see it go away.
Yeah.
You know, change can be a good thing. I'm just a creature of habit and I don't like change. So it's a process to digest everything today.
I did. So like, just for the listeners, I want to talk about kind of like what's changed because it's been like a whole year since I've recorded.
Yeah.
The last time I recorded was pre-surgery.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
I did like probably edit like my last episode while I was high on pain pills or something. I think that's
Love that for you.
I think that's the last time. So like it was post-surgery when I pushed the last one out, but like actually recording
right
pre-surgery. So there's a lot to get into. And just for the listeners, I was asking my sister, I was like, hey, you know, up top, I want to talk about what's changed. And then I want to get into kind of my thoughts on what I want to do with the podcast moving forward. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so, you know, I mean, because like you came on like probably like 4 or 5 times. Everyone knows you're my sister.
Did I come on that much?
Definitely.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Maybe 4.
I
maybe
thought it was
3.
like 2 times.
Maybe I kicked you off.
Maybe.
But
maybe I just have the memory of like a goldfish. So
Jessica was like, literally nothing has changed besides you're like a micro influencer on TikTok.
Yeah. Just
and that's
a tiny
just
little
being
baby.
ripped away from you in your
It
little
is.
life. Like,
Yeah. My little community of book lovers.
Yeah. Doesn't this make you want to like sing and be a singer with like these micro, what are these called? What's on my head?
The headset?
The headsets. Is it? I thought headset meant
Earphones?
with like a thing attached to it to talk into.
Well, it's not an earbud, is it?
No.
Earphones?
Headphones?
Headphones.
There we go.
We're smart.
Glad we got there.
Combined, we have one brain.
Trying to talk for a living, not going so well.
Yeah.
This tea is pretty good.
I'm really enjoying it. Also,
I like needed like my second dose of
Can we
caffeine.
appreciate the mug? I don't really like you. I'm just bored. Like if that isn't the story of my life.
Yeah, that's Nick Vile's podcast mug.
We love Nick Vile.
I had like every intention of getting that mug, and then like this was like in kind of like my hoe girl era, and like giving it to someone that I didn't really like the next day, but whoops, never did that. Got into a relationship. Speaking of change, I'm single now, so I'm out of that.
Finally. Thank goodness.
The first thing, like 3 things that I wrote down on my list of things that have changed for me are now I'm single since the last time I recorded.
Right.
Kind of celibate accidentally.
Yeah.
Involuntarily. or voluntarily. I'm not totally sure. Oh, and sober.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah. Because you're not like totally. I guess you didn't really even drink on New Year's, yeah?
Well, I had one little...
Yeah, you finished off my
cheers.
champagne, but that was about it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Jonesing.
Yeah.
Not really. It did just taste good, though. Like bubbly.
It was.
Better than the water I was drinking.
Right.
Yeah. But I was like thinking about it. I'm like, what are the rules for celibacy?
Well,
Like, am I?
yeah, no, because you would like still go there if you had someone. Not having any options at the moment. That's just called going through a drought, boo-boo.
Honey, that makes me sound like I'm a loser. That is not the case.
So I'm not a loser.
There's options. I'm just not taking them.
Right. Well, not good options, so...
I wouldn't even say that. I'm just like, I'm trying to wait.
Well, you have good options right now.
I guess. I'm trying to wait until I feel emotionally safe with someone. Right. So it's not necessarily that there aren't good options. No one's just meeting that criteria. So kind of like if there's a...
So there's not good options.
If there's a Venn diagram, not good options is in the middle. Or could be. It could be an overlap, but not necessarily definitively not good options. Unknown. Yeah. There's an unknown era.
Basically, there's no good options at the moment.
I mean, I feel like I probably could have last night if I wanted to, but I just chose to come on home at 9:30.
Grandma life.
I know. Sober life.
True.
I was like, you're one drink away from trying to take me home sloppily, and I'm sober.
Love that for you.
I didn't say that, but
you thought it loud with your face.
No.
Even when you think your face doesn't say 1,000 words, it does.
I totally get that, but like also at the same time, it's so funny. It's like when you have self-love, it's like people just respect you more.
Most definitely.
And then they were like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, I probably wouldn't have been like gotten that invitation if I had like had sex with that person.
Oh, for sure. Proud of you doing the whole sober life and healing era. We love this healing era you're in.
I know. Yeah, that's the other thing that's changed. Like I've been in therapy which I think I was like just starting therapy during like the last recording and I mentioned it. But like groundwork coaching, Madison Eshelman has changed my life.
We love that.
Like maybe even saved my life. Not in like a way, but kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely going down like a not so good headspace for sure, especially with your relationship. Like you could just see your light dimming day by day.
I don't know how I feel about going into too many details with that.
Yeah.
But like obviously I'm not hiding anything, but
just wasn't a good...
I don't want to talk about it too much, but like I feel like I wouldn't have had the tools to recognize certain things. In my mind could have gone down a dangerous path just based on the amount of anger that was happening. So... she saved me there, I think, genuinely. I've never felt more peace in my head, like ever, until now.
In my head.
See? That's what I'm saying. I'll be a blonde for the night. What's the Heidi Montag?
I don't even know that I've ever heard that, so I have no idea.
You're not on that side of TikTok?
I am on the side of TikTok where there's books. I don't think Heidi is books.
God. You know Spidey... Spencer and Heidi.
Yes, I know who she is. Yeah.
Everyone's supposed to be playing their song to get her to #1 so they can rebuild their house because they were house poor. And she went on like the news and cried about it.
I mean, I see him once in a while. I never see her.
He's such a ride or die.
He's so hilarious.
I love him.
Yeah. Like, and we used to just like hate him when they were on like whatever show like a million years ago. Like they were like the villains. And now I'm like, we all freaking love him. It's so funny.
If my man doesn't love me like Spencer loves Heidi,
for sure.
I don't want it.
Definitely
like
not.
He better be on the internet pumping my shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I definitely don't want to like go too deep into this because I think I want to have a whole episode, but I don't care. Wherever this takes us, it'll take us. But one new thing about me is I have 2 like hardcore new crushes.
You do.
Timothy Chalamet, little Timmy. Love you, baby.
Like the obsession is so real.
It's strong.
She is sending me like TikToks and Instagram reels
and you could care less.
And videos and like memes 24/7 of this man, and I'm like, meh.
the face card on this man.
Like, he's cute, but like he's not my type.
I personally had not consumed a single piece of content from Timothée Chalamet. I hadn't watched any of his movies. I watched him on Theo Von's take it back. I listened to him.
Swear that's your new favorite thing to do?
Because it's like sound effects.
We know you in sound effects.
Yeah.
For example.
Wait, I want to go back to that, but let's see what else we have here. Oh, that one's kind of cute. Ooh.
Ba-dum-bum.
This other one's annoying. I can't remember what it is, but I'm not going to play it because I can't control the length of it. But
okay.
Wouldn't want to do that to your ears.
Please, dear God, don't.
But anyways, so I was listening to little Timmy on Theo Von's podcast. Actually, I'm going to rewind even further back. I'm not like a regular listener to Theo Von. You know who that is though, right?
He's the really silly dude.
He's a comic, yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's very
I've
silly.
sent you so many of those too.
Yeah, no, like he comes across on my TikTok often.
On the Nikki Glazer podcast, everyone knows she is my queen outside of Taylor Swift, and she's thriving. I want to kind of do a deep dive on her too. And Timmy, her co-host, Brian Frangie, he has been deep diving Timothée Chalamet content, and he has like he's a straight man who's married, but like he has a crush on Timothy for sure. And so I'm like, okay, I got to see what this is about. So he was like referencing the Theo Von's podcast. So I went and listened to it, and then I fell in love hard. We know that all it takes is for like a confident, funny, good, like personality for me to fall in love.
We do.
And then when you have those green eyes,
he does have beautiful eyeballs for sure.
We also know that I do love a tiny man.
That you do. The smaller the better. Fit them in your pocket. They're perfect for you.
There is one person that I know that reminds me of him.
Who?
Remember when we were at the bar, like one of the first times I was like out with you sober, and like everyone thought I was drinking, but I was drinking mocktails.
On Phil's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like was like, I know that person, and he had like a creepy stash.
That night was a little fuzzy for me. You might not have been drinking, but I was heavily drinking.
You don't remember this?
I do not recall.
Okay, well, it was that guy. This guy is also smaller than me and younger than me and kind of has a weird stash. I think it's their vibe is just pretty similar, but minus, I think Timothy like is actually maybe not an alcoholic, and I think this guy might be an alcoholic.
If you liked him, probably.
Well, I wouldn't say liked.
Okay. I'm getting what you're laying down.
Okay, but I was thinking about this, and you only have to say as much as you're like willing to like talk about.
Okay.
But you are equally in your celeb crush era.
Oh, for sure.
We are deep in it.
We're deep in the land of delusion. For
Is
sure.
it though?
No.
Because it's our reality.
It's our reality.
Well, first of all, do you want to say your celeb crush?
No.
What?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Why not?
Because I don't want to talk about this at all.
I'm going to ask you the question. I guess you don't have to answer.
Feel free.
Have you ever thought about like what you genuinely do like when you meet them?
Yes.
Do you want to elaborate?
I feel like celebrities are like regular people.
Kind of.
I mean,
Plus,
okay,
like,
let's just like put it like let's pull out Abby. Okay, like let's think Jessica, like I don't remember, maybe 5 years ago when we went to see that little concert.
Which one?
Chase McDaniels.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, was
And
it when I
got
was
to meet him and I pulled a total fangirl.
Oh, you fell over a table.
Yes. I was in total fangirl, and I was like not looking at my surroundings. So, I mean, I like to pretend I'd be so cool, but I mean, who knows?
And like no one even knows who Chase McDaniels is.
Literally, yeah, like such a small artist.
I thought you were gonna talk about when I DM'd Brett Eldridge when he was in town.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
And didn't respond, obviously.
We would have never known unless we tried.
I invited him to J.K. O'Donnell's as if he would just show up there. Okay, so like kind of like what I think about sometimes is, I think I would be really nervous, but also it's like lifestyle wise. Like I live in Indiana in the Midwest. I haven't even been to New York or Los Angeles. Like Timmy grew up in New York and France. Like he spent summers there.
So he's cultured.
Yeah, which like I guess I have been to Egypt. I have traveled the world somewhat, but I don't know another language besides a couple Arabic words.
You don't remember any Spanish?
Hola.
Wow.
¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, I guess
Bueno.
I've lost a lot of it as well.
¿Por qué? I guess I know more Spanish than I do Arabic, but
I would assume.
well, that's two additional languages, but he's like fluent.
Yeah.
Like watching him like talking, I was about to say sing in French. I'm getting my crushes confused.
I was going to say, who are you talking about right now?
Sorry, Timmy. I'm getting you confused with Harry Styles.
Which that crush, I completely agree with. He's
yeah.
beautiful human.
I do want to go back to that, but I've had two people that I've told about my Timothy Chalamet crush like this past week. And they're like, oh, should I look him up? I go,
No.
probably not. I'm like, please
But like
do.
if they look him up, they're like, yeah, that is Abby's type.
Yes.
Like I see it. Like it makes sense. He's a good looking dude. He's just so not my type.
Yeah, my new type, I have a definition for it.
Yeah, you told me the other day.
Which Timothy is musical. I do have to say that. Obviously, he was in Wonka. He sings in Bob Dylan, which I'm going to see on Monday. But he's not like a rock star, but like kind of like a singer who can have tattoos or maybe not, either or. But a guy that looks like he had a stint of alcoholism or drug use and is now sober, but still bad boy adjacent.
And like might not wash his hair every day.
That falls into this whole
Yeah.
category. He can,
But he
or
has to look like he doesn't.
the guy that I know that reminds me of Timothy Chalamet, he falls into that minus the sober part. So.
Yeah, that's like the perfect definition of your taste.
Like I was like telling Nikki, I was like, I just like dream about like sitting on my couch, like cuddling with Murphy and my future man and just like reading poetry or like him reading out loud to me because like my eyes are like heavy. I want to finish this last chapter, please read to me, Harry. So going back to like the actual meeting, they are also multimillionaires.
We're just slightly in different tax brackets. Just a little bit.
Just a little different. They have that PJ money. But I also feel like there's like a level of a power difference because they're famous. We're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
The money
like,
difference,
the more
the life experience,
yeah,
the fame.
obviously like
Do
vast.
I need to keep going?
No. So like obviously vastly different life experiences, but at the end of the day, like a person is a person, you know, like I don't know.
Really, what makes a person a person? Please tell me more.
I don't know where I was going with that.
At the end of the day,
my brain is like not
a person,
100% today.
a person is a person.
But no, so like obviously vastly different life experiences, but like I mean, how many times have you had conversations with people who have had vastly different life experiences than you and you can still have a conversation with them?
Well, I could talk to a fucking wall, but that's...
I mean, precisely. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, like celebrities are still the same people, like deep down inside. Like, yeah, they have all of those things, but I would like to think a lot of them maintain like a sense of humanity about them. Like
normalcy.
Yeah. I mean, you would hope the celebrities that you know, love and love to listen to and love to watch on TV. And
I mean, that's why I fell in love with Timothy. He felt like a normal fucking dude.
Yeah, you would hope that they're just real people on the inside. I don't know.
I'm sure not all of them.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure a vast majority of them, it goes to their head.
Timothy has a girlfriend, unfortunately, right now. But like when I meet him, he's going to be going through that heartbreak and over that heartbreak, unfortunately. I don't know. Like he's an actor. Like, can you fake it? Like sometimes I would get like in my head when I imagine our life together. I'm like, what if he's acting this?
I'm glad you're in therapy. Like, I feel like that's a trauma response right there to be like, oh, he's faking it. Like, he's faking. Like,
oof.
At the end of the day, like,
I'm going to write that down for Madison.
Yeah. Like, I feel like any good relationship, like, there is that level of trust and love and respect. And if that is not there, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person.
I think the next person that I'm going to be with, it's going to be a difficult one because...
You've got some things to work through.
I thought the love and respect was there until it wasn't. And so a little bit of a mind fuck for sure.
But hindsight, like a lot of the stories that you've come out and told me about it, like I don't think any of it was ever there to begin with.
No. Yes.
I think it's just a matter of trusting you that you know the signs now and you know the red flags.
There was. The first part.
For a little while, yeah. I mean, people can fake it for a little while, for sure.
Rainbows and butterflies and...
For sure.
Like love on cocaine.
I feel like that's a risk you're going to take with any relationship. Like you go all in knowing what kind of person you are on the inside, and especially you being so loving, so open and there for someone, good or bad, it's going to teach you something and it's going to be an experience that you need to have in your life. I don't know. We talk all the time like about our spirituality and
we're woo-woo bitches.
You know, our life path, and those people, regardless of the outcome, definitely taught us something that we needed to know. And
I learned self-love afterwards.
Right.
So I do think that has changed. And so now I can recognize when something doesn't feel like love.
Absolutely.
So even though I worry about that in my head, I guess, whether it's Timothy or whomever.
Because it's going to be Timmy.
We have options over here. Harry Styles, another one.
Right.
I didn't get to my full list, but role model, aka Tucker, he's on the list. He's a new one.
I don't know that I know who that is.
But going back to what I was saying though, is I have learned self-love, and I actually have learned that love is calm and confident, and it isn't like this chaotic, rushed, where you really feel like you're on drugs feeling.
Right.
Controlling, none of those things is love. So it's like if someone's like feeling a sense of urgency and pushing you in the beginning, I know with 100% certainty that is not someone that's trying to love me. That's someone that's trying to fill something inside of them. And that's okay. Like everyone.
Right.
I'm 32. I'm just learning this. Haven't actually put it into practice fully. I mean, like I've talked with people.
Right.
You know, but like truthfully in practice, I haven't obviously been in another relationship. Cause some would say it might be too quick. Others might not.
Depends who you're asking, I suppose.
I would say so. Okay. Any other thoughts about your crush, your man?
I mean, I feel like doesn't everybody have at least one celebrity crush?
Some people aren't into this actually.
Really?
And
I guess I never really did either.
It shocks me every time.
I mean, I have one celebrity crush, but it's very delulu and I sound like an insane person, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, too late.
Everybody already knows I'm a little cuckoo bananas, and I'm okay with that.
I fully am embracing the celebrity crushes. It feels a lot safer to have a crush on a celeb.
Yeah.
For me in this era of mine, in this moment, than having a crush on someone that I could actually talk with.
Well, I mean, like, okay, I look at it this way. I have a million crushes on fictional characters that don't even exist. So let's add one other
in books.
Fantasy, yes, in books.
Yeah.
Like I have a million book boyfriends, truly, literally, like a million of them.
That's all right. It's the same concept.
So it's same concept, like this fictional celebrity.
TikTok, Instagram, we see a lot of people. There's interviews, and I know that's like probably one persona.
Right.
But I think there's nothing wrong with falling in love with that one persona.
I mean, I feel like as long as you don't take it to like a weird extreme, like I have a crush.
I'm borderline.
You're borderline for sure. Like, don't start stalking him. You'll be fine.
I promise I won't, but I do think I will meet him. And then I'm like, I probably shouldn't do a whole episode on Timothée Chalamet, even though this is turning into it.
Yeah, it totally is.
Simply because when he becomes my future boyfriend, I will have to delete it and never talk about it again.
Absolutely.
That will be weird. Or maybe he'll like it.
Maybe.
Charming.
I don't know.
Speaking of Bob Dylan, I'm not like actually a huge Bob Dylan fan, but I definitely would listen to him because of Two Boys in High School.
That does not surprise me at all.
One of which, he liked me, but not enough to stop smoking weed. And I gave him an ultimatum. It's me or the weed. I was like, none of my boyfriends have done drugs. And then they all have.
They all did, yeah.
To date, every single person.
Literally every one of them.
Okay, so I wrote down a couple of funny things. I'm in my long hair girly era.
Yeah. Like every time I see you, I'm like, oh, who is she?
It's really long. I know I have these things on now.
It is.
Whatever these are called. I forget what we decided on, but... headset, headphones, earbuds,
earphone, no, headphones.
I think headphones.
Headphones.
I'm also trying to become a fashion girly.
Yeah, you are.
And some may say that I dressed okay for my whole life, but that's simply because I copied you.
Because I am an icon, obviously.
I know that you wore the sweatshirt because it felt like a rainy day because it's like really gloomy, but honestly, I was like really hoping for this kind of weather because I didn't want it to be too hot in here.
Right.
And like my camera does really well with like natural lighting, and I didn't set up like the extra lights because I think that actually fucks up with the camera. But I was thinking today, I was like, oh my God, this is like the perfect day. This is what I was hoping for. And
everything is always working out for me, no matter how it looks. It's like we're sisters.
I kept telling Jessica, I'm like, we have to talk about this on the podcast. And she's like, we'll find enough things to say.
Literally all week, Abby's like, no, don't talk to me about that. I can't talk to you about that. You have to save that. You have to save it for Saturday. I'm like, dude, you act like we haven't known each other for 30. How old are you now? 32. 32. Oh my God. I forget how old sometimes I am.
I forgot today.
I'm like, you act like we haven't known each other for 32 years.
I couldn't remember. Why was I trying to think about
we can talk for each other for literally like multiple hours a day and never run out of things to say. So I was like, we're really going to struggle to talk to each other on Saturday, Abby.
Oh, I was trying to think of my age today because I was trying to figure out the age difference between me and Timothée Chalamet.
Sometimes I really forget like
32, right?
How old I am. Yeah, you're 32 and I'm 35.
Wah, wah, wah.
I know. But no, I'm loving it. I'm embracing it. I'm in my nodal return right now. And this is my fucking year. Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on this.
What?
Or your opinion. So for
my T's and P's.
Well, I might need them.
T's and O's.
What are you?
Thoughts and opinions. I was thinking it's T's and P's, but that's thoughts and prayers.
Not the same, honey.
I'm smart.
Thoughts and opinions, very different than thoughts and prayers. So for like the past probably like 4 or 5 years, I've been saying, and it just felt like it wasn't ever actually going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm 32 and not in a serious relationship, I will probably freeze my eggs. And I realized today when I was trying to figure out the age difference between me and Timothée Chalamet that I'm actually 32 and that I've been saying that.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually almost 33.
Closer to 33, yeah.
So
better get on that.
Should I?
I don't know. I mean, I'm older than you, obviously, and I haven't. So if that's something you feel like super called to do, definitely do it. Like I've definitely considered it probably like when I was your age as well. But like I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, if it is meant to be, it is going to happen. Like everything is always working out exactly how it's supposed to. You know, that's just kind of the way I live my life. Especially as of late. Yeah, very spiritually. You know, like if I'm meant to have kids, which, you know, I've always thought I would be a mom one day. It's going to find me no matter how that looks, whether it's, you know, through my own or adopting or, you know, maybe the person I marry has kids. Like it's going to happen. I was going to make the joke,
or you're just going to marry a child. Not in like a pervil way, but because like white women tend to say like, yeah, I have 3 kids, one's my husband.
Yes. I would not be doing that because my husband's going to be my partner. I have to take
care of my husband.
I'm not going to be taking care of them.
I have to tell him to do chores and when to do the laundry.
Yeah. You know, some people just maybe shouldn't have gotten married. But no. No, I am leading life in that it's going to all work out exactly how it's meant to. So I don't feel called to do that anymore, mostly because I looked into it and the pricing and just all that you have to go through to even get your eggs like retrieved in the first place just seems like so not something I want to do.
If you
nor do I want to spend that money on it,
like $25,000 to do it out of thin air, would you?
I honestly don't know. Like it's a process and like shots in your stomach and just
before I was
messing
like
up
nervous
your
about
hormones, and I don't know that that's where my life is leading me to do that.
Yeah, before I was nervous about it. You have to be off of birth control, obviously, and like I just thought I would be on birth control for like my whole life, you know, until I was trying to have kids. And now I'm free balling life.
Cheers to that.
Sober, no birth control,
living life,
live, laugh, love. So
gosh, can you believe some people got that tattooed on them?
Who do you know that has that tattooed on them?
But like, I'm just saying, like in general, like that was like a very popular tattoo, I feel like, back in the day.
Yeah.
It was just a funny little haha side note. Anyway, what were you saying?
No clue.
Free ball in life.
Oh, raw donging?
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. Celibacy, you know.
Involuntary celibacy, I would say.
Yeah. But kind of voluntary.
Yeah.
It's like a fine line. You feel me?
I do. I just like, I'm not going there with a dude until I like really feel like there's potential.
So emotional safety.
Yeah, like
exactly
I'm done doing. Yeah, I'm done doing like friends with benefits. Like I'm really just too old for that anymore. They're fun. Don't get me wrong. Been there, done that.
I've never been good at it.
Yeah, like I can seriously shut off my emotions like no other. So
I mean, same.
I've always been really good at that.
I can and can't. I don't know. Here, let me start like job searching for you. But simply because I like doing
it's
that.
Like a business transaction. Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
No.
And I'm just like, I'm done in that like headspace. Like I'm done giving away my energy. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's not like so much like giving my energy away, but like, you know, anytime you're intimate with somebody, it's exchanging energy. And again, there goes my woo-woo girly. And I'm just done doing that right now.
Yeah.
Will my mind change in another few months? Who knows? Probably. But for the last, I don't know, since summer, I'm done.
No, but I did want to add like how I got here with that, like the emotional safety. I don't know. I feel like I had like a mind blown moment, like when I was talking to Madison about it. I was like, because I don't like, it's on like one hand, I've always been like, you do you, like I'm not shaming anyone who wants to do that. Been there, done that.
Right.
But like what she proposed to me, and I think like I was like reading a book and there was a lot of like domestic violence in it. And obviously I was like fresh out of an emotionally abusive relationship.
Right.
Just from our life. And the traumas, I've attracted certain folks into my world. I'm like, I just feel like guys hate women. And so I was like talking to her about how like I have been choked like sexually.
Right.
And it's just like kind of crazy that someone would like crazy to me that someone would do that without even having a conversation prior. And like I stop it right away because it really takes me out of it. But I was just like talking about like the violence against women, and I was like having like one of my tangents and overwhelming thought. What she said to me is she's like, let's just like break it down. And it was so simple. Like, would you trust your inner child with someone? And if you wouldn't, why would you sleep with them?
Absolutely.
And I was like,
and I like that.
Yeah, you know. And then she's like, once you trust your inner child with someone, you can have conversations about exploring things like
absolutely.
Choking, if that's something that someone's interested in.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be a talk like about like consent for sure. Like
I think like us millennials just like normalized it, to be honest, which I'm like,
yeah,
it's crazy that you've never experienced that.
You're telling me.
I know. So that's how I got to the celibacy part. I think like with self-love, I just like haven't allowed certain energies into my world. So I'm like not really going on a ton of dates right now anyways.
Yeah.
So then if I'm not going on dates, I'm just like not like building that rapport with someone.
For sure.
And that safety. So
yeah.
But I like it.
It's good.
I like this era.
I do too. I like this era for you. No, you can just tell you're a lot less chaotic.
Right.
Like your thoughts are a lot less chaotic, so your whole energy is less chaotic.
The amount of spiraling that happens is very few and far between. It happens, but I feel like it's just in a different way.
But I feel like it's in a much more like healthy and not controlled way, but like you are able to manage it better and cope with it better. A more like healthy way of dealing with it and expressing it.
Yes. Voice memos
yes.
to my therapist, meeting with her weekly, feeling my feelings. I just like feel everything like really deeply right now.
That's
like,
beautiful.
Like I was so chaotic, I wasn't feeling a thing before, but now I'm like everything.
Oh yeah.
Is beautiful and sad.
Well, and I feel like it's brought like even us closer. Like we're so much more on like the same wavelength now, whereas we never used to be on like the same wavelength. I mean, we've always been like ridiculously close.
I would say we were on maybe even on the same wavelength of like both just like fucked.
Yeah.
Just in different ways. and that caused a lot of friction.
Yeah, for sure.
And now we can have like a calm discussion and like if something's upsetting us.
Right. Yeah.
Because, honey, it does. Okay, so another like just like stupid haha thing that I added that has changed. One new update is I shower every day now.
So proud of you.
This is a tough one for me, you guys.
About damn time.
And Jessica, I'm like struggling. I have never been so clean ever. Like I wash my hands all the time. Let me back up. I'm not going to go into too many details. Just a high overview. I did have an emergency surgery in 2024. I feel like I had a lot of things piling up. Some people are like, oh, she got a boyfriend. She stopped doing her hopes and dreams with the podcast. It is a layer, but I feel like not because of the boyfriend, but because of the emotional stuff that was going on that played a part. But then added in the surgery with like a horrendous 7-week healing period. Jessica was very traumatized,
scarred for life.
Like I mean, not to like be like,
yeah, you don't want to tell anybody. Just trust me, scarred for life.
So
never to recover.
Basically what happened is I got a version of staph that's very similar to MRSA. Super disgusting.
So gross.
But like I'm learning to like love my body. So my body was clearly rejecting life. Or something.
I was rejecting something.
I first thought they were pimples, and then I thought they were spider bites, and then they became out of control. And I've never been in more pain. Like I was crying in pain for 4 days. I went to Ready Med, and then I went to the doctor, and then I had to go to the surgeon, and then the surgeon wouldn't let me leave. And he's like, we got to cut this out of you.
And boy, did they.
Just got to help me with recovery.
It was quite the sight to behold.
I was dropped off here unexpectedly.
Because scarred for life.
Yeah. And want to know what I think is so fucked?
What?
Like the surgeon was like, do you have any family that's a nurse? Like I should have asked more questions. But like when they say like you're having surgery, it's like my mind went black. Like I just like I didn't know what to ask.
Yeah.
But because of that, like I had a 30% chance of it going away forever, which is very low. So I had this whole regimen. I had to be really clean. And then I could be less cautious after like 2 months of that, which is like grueling. But I still keep a lot of the practices because it's good practices.
Yeah, for sure. It's not a bad thing to.
But the
hygiene.
The specialist that I went to is like dirt can be your friend sometimes. Like some germs are okay.
Yeah. We got rid of the biggest piece of dirt, so. I'm funny.
How many jabs are we gonna do?
I don't know.
I promised myself I wasn't gonna do that.
I know. I tried not to.
It's just
you just walked into that one. I just had to.
You walked into that one.
I walked myself into it. Thank you.
And for context, I hated showers. Sometimes I work from home. I would go 3 days sometimes, and I don't care if people think that's gross. But yeah, those are all my like updates, I would say. Oh, I guess when I wrote, I like watching movies now and started sleeping with a face mask or a sleep mask. Because
the most random.
People need to know these things.
I mean, very important.
I want to kind of go back to the whole concept of why I feel like I stopped the podcast and why I'm starting it back up.
Okay.
I feel like I had to kind of stop for many reasons. I was getting burnt out with it a little bit, and it was the frequency. So I'm going to take that pressure off. And this is my passion project. The energy will flow where it flows. So obviously, success can look different. I want to do this because I fucking love talking with people.
You don't say.
And I love the post-production.
Interesting.
What are you doing?
That's like my least favorite thing to do is like edit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I love it. What are you doing?
I was just looking at a text. I have like 20 of them. I'm still talking to you.
We're doing a podcast.
Why are you squirreled by a text that you're not even reading?
Well, I don't know. Are you going to ignore me?
I'm literally talking to you right now.
Yeah, because I'm making you. Anyways, so I started doing therapy in February of 2024. I did do a shout out at the beginning, but I started working with Madison. And for anyone who knows or doesn't know, I interviewed her on the podcast. And in that interview, I quickly realized that I wasn't as healed as I thought I was because I kept telling everyone I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed.
Right.
And jokes on me, I 100% was not.
Most definitely, yeah.
I was doing really good with the tools that I had at the time. No, I mean, I was without actually feeling anything. I was just disassociating completely from my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
And so focusing on the healing became really overwhelming. but also the situation that I was in. I'm so glad I'm out of that because I have done so much more work on myself because I've been able to focus less on surviving, and now I'm thriving.
So cliche.
No, but I'm serious. I think part of healing, you have to have a healthy space and healthy people around you.
Yeah.
And if you're simply taking the tools that you're learning from therapy just to survive in a relationship, that's probably not good. And I get it, like relationships like really bring out or really show you like your shadow side, but it shouldn't be like fighting for your fucking life.
Well, and I feel too like a bad relationship is going to bring out the bad in you. Like it's going to enhance that like to no other. But a healthy relationship is really going to like force you to look within and bring out all the good in you and really work on the not so good side of you as well.
I think I don't really even realize I didn't have a ton of self-love. I thought I did, but I definitely like the choices I was making were not loving at all to myself.
Absolutely.
But I think like someone that actually really loves someone else will just help you discover other parts of yourself that you love.
Absolutely.
Or they should, you know? And I think that's healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was learning how to like regulate my emotions and feel my feelings and process 32 years of trauma.
Right.
And that became overwhelming. I was focusing a lot on that. And so to think about something else outside of that felt like too much for me. And like I didn't even know how to talk about a lot of it at the time. And I didn't want to talk about it like it was like my thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't really want to share that with people just at that point. So, and I really try to be authentic on here. And I felt like I just couldn't be authentic. And on top of all that, I felt like I was starting to have like the same conversations over and over again, like talking about trauma, which I still love talking about trauma, but I feel like it's...
Says the girl who's currently talking about trauma.
Well, no, I'm talking about like why I stopped.
Yeah.
It was different. Like I don't know, which I still love talking about. I feel like I was just like saying it in the same way over and over again or asking the same questions. As I started to heal, I realized that I was operating in the podcast from my wounded self of really needing to be heard.
Needing that validation.
And I'm like, I just needed to be heard, to be seen and to be validated, which it's funny because like people were listening, but I wasn't really getting that self-validation. So like it wasn't really hitting.
It wasn't filling your cup up. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. And so
do you think that's maybe why you like got burnt out, because it wasn't validating those that
probably
need to be heard?
Probably a lot of that for sure. Yeah, it wasn't regulating me in any way.
Right.
I don't think it was triggering. It just wasn't doing.
It just wasn't filling your cup up.
I was like probably hoping, which I subconsciously did that. It wasn't like.
Well, of course.
I was like, oh my God, I want everyone to hear me and like fix me. You know.
Right.
I just realized that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So I took a break. And then for a long time, people kept asking me, like, when are you going to do the podcast again? And by a lot of people, probably 3.
I was going to say the 5 people that you talked to on a daily basis.
It would come up like with 3 people, probably a lot.
Yeah.
I would like, anxiety would fill me when people would ask that. I'd be like the thought of at that, like the in between then and now, the thought of being seen or heard or perceived freaked me out. I'm not going to do it until I actually feel like I can sit here and be comfortable in myself.
Right.
I started thinking about it more and more, and I was like, I think I'm finally ready.
Good.
And now, obviously, it's a podcast. You want to be heard. You're going to be seen. But it's not from a wounded place, I don't think, anymore.
That's good.
So I learned things like I feel like every day in therapy. So sometimes I'm like, this is as much information as I have. So who knows? Maybe
these are the skills I have right now.
Maybe in a year from now, I'll feel differently.
I mean, and I think it is like we are ever changing, or at least, you know, that is the hope. Like we're always growing and always bettering ourselves. Yeah. So, you know, your understanding of who you are today, you know, hopefully is very different than your understanding a year from now, you know?
Right. And I feel like I change every single day. So,
I mean, we're Geminis, obviously.
Obviously.
We only have like 20 different personalities.
Duh. They all talk to each other.
I mean, they all might appear in one day. Like, you never know.
We've seen about 3 from you today.
We truly have. It just every hour I'm someone new.
But yeah, so I feel like I'm finally operating from like a healthier spot to actually like sit down with people and have good conversations. I don't know if you noticed, which you probably didn't, but like I changed my tagline on like my Instagram for the O podcast and on the YouTube channel to like everyone has a story the world deserves to hear. And I found myself saying that like everyone, like when people would ask me like, so what's your podcast about? And I'm like, well, it's evolved. I used to do topics and then I was interviewing guys that I went on dates with. I know we keep saying like we're not going to talk about it anymore, but I never told my ex about that. And that's a red flag.
We can deep dive that later.
I kept that. Yeah. Kept that a secret.
We'll see.
A secret that the world knows about.
I'm sure he knew.
Probably.
There's no way he didn't listen.
Yeah. Who knows? Anyways, and then I started interviewing people. And as I was interviewing people, like, yeah, of course, like you came on, I know your story. My friends come on, I know some of their stories. But I mean, think about it. Like I had people here who I didn't even know. If we think about it, it's like I sat here, interviewed Madison. Her and I are both crying on this couch.
Aww.
I interviewed Lavendell. You know, she does burlesque. We sat here and started crying. And they were both, well, I mean, I guess I knew technically like Madison from high school, but we weren't friends. And they both were essentially strangers that come into my space and are talking for anyone to hear. And I just like find that so beautiful. And so I'm like, that's what I want to keep doing. And so like when people are like, so what's your podcast about? My answer has been repetitively like everyone has a story. And then two, I guess like changes that I like want to do is, I think I alluded to it in the beginning. It's not going to be weekly.
Yeah.
I'm going to push it out when I can. I have a couple people that said that they would come on. So I have people that lined up. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I have a whole other project that I'm like working on, like a creative project that I also want to prioritize and hopefully push out in 2025.
Excited.
I know, not to be vague, but it's going to be vague for now.
I know something you don't know.
Also, too, I was interviewing guys that I've gone on dates with before. I am not reaching out to any of those guys. I'm not moving forward with that.
Let's just keep the past in the past.
I mean, here's the thing. If someone that I've been on dates with reaches out and is like, let me come on the podcast, I would be open to it, but I'm not reaching out to anyone and going, I don't want any of that toxicity to be in this space. So yeah, so that's another change. I want to start trying to like post some new stuff on Instagram or whatever
R.I.P.
whatever platform replaces TikTok.
R.I.P.
The Redwood or what is it?
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm probably not gonna get on there.
Yeah.
TBD.
I don't know where I'm going either. I mean, I have Instagram, but it's just not the same, and I just don't really post consistently on there, nor have I really built up a community there.
You will.
Yeah, I mean, I will somewhere, for sure.
So,
just when I did figure that out.
All right, we had to have a little intermission simply because my camera died on my camera. My battery died on my camera. So at this point, when this comes out after I'm able to edit it,
I guess we'll know by then, yeah.
We'll know what's happening with TikTok.
Like, I've been living in the land of Delulu. I'm like, I was like fully on the bandwagon of like, no, it's not happening. Like, there is no way we are going to be that censored. Like, it's a silly little app. Like, there is no way they're going to censor us. However, it's turning into like, we might actually lose it. So
yeah. So for
it's
everyone,
been a little emotional today.
For everyone who doesn't know, which is everyone else besides me and you.
Right.
Today is allegedly the last day before it goes black tomorrow.
Well, like at midnight, but like midnight whose time? I don't know. Central time, Eastern time? What time is it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll be awake, I'm sure.
Yeah, so
I'll be awake doom scrolling until it goes black on me.
At one point last night, I was like really concerned that you weren't going to come here and record this simply because I was like,
I was stressed.
This takes away from her last day on TikTok.
I know. I thoroughly was like, can I just scroll all day long? I thought about it. And then I thought about like calling the book girlies and be like, let's do our like one final like group live.
Do that tonight.
I know. I probably will leave Moms early and be like,
do it until midnight and then it shuts down.
I know. I'm like, let's just go live until we're kicked out.
Why does this feel like was it 2002 when we thought the world was gonna end? Like we thought like
oh my gosh, I saw it.
The computers were gonna shut down. Like this is what it feels like. It's like
when it was 2000 ceased. And everyone thought like the computers weren't gonna turn over and like everything was gonna explode. Yeah,
the millennia happened.
But yeah, it's a little sad. Like I've built like a fun little community there. Like granted, do
you want to tell people like what you do on there?
So I don't know if you've ever heard the side of like Book Talk, but I have a reading addiction, and I started.
And let me just give a little bit of backstory on that. Jessica didn't read books for a long time.
Yeah, like a solid like all through like middle school, high school, college. I mean, required texts, I guess.
Yeah, I would spark note that shit.
Yeah, like I would read what was like required of me, but like outside of that, like were
our
you
a
lives
reader when you were
chaos.
little? Because I was.
Yeah,
okay.
Very much so.
Okay, so we were both the same.
Yeah, very much so.
Don't remember a single thing.
But then like our life kind of became chaos and my brain like couldn't even.
We were in survival mode.
Yeah,
for sure.
like anything outside of like mindlessly watching a TV show was like too much.
Yeah,
I mean, especially because like I was, a very dedicated student as well. So like anything outside of like focusing on my studies and schools and like being perfect.
Yeah, I was just gonna add like probably
too much.
like an inappropriate show too for our age.
I mean, probably, yeah. But like, I mean, it was really like on repeat, like Buffy, Charmed, like.
I was just like in the basement downloading on LimeWire, like giving our computer a virus.
Yes, yeah, all the songs, all the
I was
music.
Like, what's wrong with the computer? I was like, I don't know.
Right, it was like always Abby's fault.
Couldn't tell you. Mom, I was just downloading these songs.
Right.
Illegally. The songs
allegedly.
I would watch MTV Jams. And then
yes. The good old days.
So,
but yeah,
you started reading.
So
a year ago, 2 years? No.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Akatar?
Finally, yeah. So 2 years ago, finally, like logged into TikTok for the first time ever. Way late to the bandwagon, like per usual. Like I'm always late to the bandwagon on literally everything.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, do we go to Red Note and then we can become Red Note famous?
Yeah, I don't know how Red Note's gonna be, and I mean honestly, like if TikTok goes away, I feel like Red Note's right behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I finally like started like reading again. Like I'd always read like maybe a handful of books a year, but nothing ever like on a daily basis I was reading.
Well, there's many years where you didn't read a single page.
Yeah, I mean, well, outside of like what was required of me. Yeah, I finally downloaded the app and just started like scrolling mindlessly like everybody does, and then I kept seeing like videos, like book talk videos of the series Akatar, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I finally read it and became absolutely obsessed. It became my entire personality.
Yeah. Me too.
And then I just kept seeing more and more of these like book talk videos of these book recommendations, and I kept picking them up. And finally then I was like, okay, I'm a reader now. Like I am devouring these books at like a crazy fast pace, like because I couldn't put them down.
Yeah, it's been your hyperfixation.
It completely like replaced like TV before bed. Like it was reading before bed every night, and then like it was like
not
so obsessed.
Your sister.
It was so obsessed that like I wasn't going to bed
anything.
like on a normal hour. Like I'd get in bed and then I'm like, one more chapter.
Yeah.
And then I finally started posting myself and built this like beautiful community. I mean, the book talk community in general, like the side of book talk, yes, there are bad sides to it. I don't know if you've ever seen some of the drama and just not kind people, but the side...
I follow you, and then like that one girl that's like...
some of the videos.
That's like...
Yeah.
Types of people that I will not take book recommendations from. She has a little pointer with the little finger on it.
Yes. I know who you're talking about.
She slaps on the board.
Yes. You send me those videos often.
I love that's one of the girls. Sorry. That's one of the girls that like, or the people that I have taken from TikTok followers and move them to Instagram followers because I like her.
So I started posting, and
so no, I'm not on the drama. Sorry to answer your question.
But anyway, like I started posting, and I like really got lucky like to get on with the group of like the really kind and welcoming and loving and just accepting you and loving you for exactly who you are.
You've built a bunch of friends.
Yeah, and I've built real friendships out of those. I mean, like the group chat Abby's been referring to, like, is, you know, 6 of these ladies that we talk every single day. They're some of my best friends. I can call them about anything. I can cry to them. And, you know, it started out as like talking about books and a mutual bonding of books, and it just turned into like real friendships.
Yeah.
Which outside of that,
I love for you so much because like you're an introvert.
Yes.
Too predominant. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like you can, I mean, it's not all one-sided.
I can definitely put on extrovert when I need to, like when I'm out in public or when I'm socializing or going out and things like that. But to my core, I'm definitely very introverted and prefer to stay home and have quiet nights in, you know?
Like Jessica will go on lives with these people and
yeah, like we have so much fun together and we just all get along so well. So
you did your goodbye video today. What did you say in it?
Really just like thank you for like, you know, just welcoming me and accepting me like as I am. And I mean overall, like, you know, you hear how some people like start posting and start getting followers and they have like a really negative experience. Like I haven't had that. Like I've been so lucky. The people that follow me and support me are truly just so kind and have nothing but wonderful things to say. And
I think when people have somewhat of like an overnight success,
right,
or like when one video goes like mega viral, I think that's where a lot of times you go into like the realm of negativity because they weren't like there with you through the whole like grind of it all. Whereas like I feel like you've steadily you've increased your follower count. Definitely. It hasn't been stagnant.
No, it's just been really like slow and steady.
Right. So
I mean, I've got like my little group of like just over 4,000 and every day, you know, having somebody to talk to about books. And I know so many people in like my real life just like, I mean, especially you're like, oh my God, just shut up already. But these people just allow me to be me and be silly and be quirky. And
it's hard to, and I know that like you deal with this with me with other things.
Yeah.
But it's like hard to like listen to someone's like hyperfixation in the moment. So it's like if you're like obsessing over a book.
Right.
If I haven't also read that
it's
book.
It's hard to when you don't also have like, the same obsession. Yeah.
Like when I'm like obsessing over like a celebrity, the Brianna chicken fry drama with Zach Bryan. Like I was in that so hard and I was like making you watch like YouTube clips about it.
And I was like, who is this girl?
Like you didn't really care. Some of it was funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the diss track.
Yeah.
But like for me, it meant so much because like literally her experience was my experience minus the $12 million that was offered in the NDA.
Right.
I have the podcast back up. I'm still willing to take 12 million.
Right.
Maybe I'll drop a whole episode if I don't get it. No, that's sabotaging or what's that called? Blackmail.
Yeah.
I got there.
No, it's sad to see it go. Like I have always been like a little different than a lot of people. I don't know. Like you always say all the time, like I'm a little different. And I'm lucky to have found like, you know, a genuine group of people that just accept me as me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And all my little quirky traits. And
for sure.
I don't know. I'm proud of myself for like putting myself out there and doing it to begin with. And, you know, just going live that first time all by myself. Because like you had to have.
Was that awkward?
So many minutes by yourself. I did it after a night like we had gone out, so I had a little liquid courage.
Oh.
And like it just ended up being like you even joined in like that very first time. It just ended up being so fun and just like talking with people that I had been talking with in comments and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's really like how our like little group of besties like formed. Like they started joining in on my lives and we just all got along so well, have had a lot of very similar life experiences so that we all just kind of understood each other. And obviously we had a mutual like obsession of books.
Yeah. Did you tell people like to go follow you on Instagram or?
Yeah, I did.
What's your Instagram book account handle? Do you want to give it?
Jessica and then
I can't hear you.
What is that? It's not is it an underscore? Yeah, Jessica _Joan _reads.
So if you like books, follow her there.
I'm not like super active over there. I mean, I guess it's going to force me to be.
Yeah.
And it's just been so fun. Like it's been like my hobby when I needed one so badly. Like I was in kind of a messed up headspace and it just like books were so healing, and
Yep.
the community was so healing on top of it. So
books to us allows us to, in a healthy way, disassociate. I don't know if any disassociation is classified as healthy.
Like, you know, books allowed me to cry and feel someone else's pain when I didn't know my own.
Oh my God, that is so, like, you know how I frequently sometimes like to cry like during shows, so I'll like rewatch a show,
and I feel like that's why I gravitate
like
towards sad books sometimes.
It gives you a release, like when you like don't even know that like you really need it.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and like I'll actively seek out, like I'll text the girls, I'm like, give me something that's going to break my heart, like on a day when I'm like, I need to cry.
I'm just really gonna miss the doom scroll.
That too. I mean, nothing beats it on a Saturday morning when you're just laying in bed for 2 hours randomly scrolling. Like, I mean, my For You page is so perfectly curated.
I think that's why everyone really loves TikTok so much, which like we're like at this point mansplaining TikTok.
Right.
But like our For You
if
pages,
you know.
yeah, your For You page is just so
perfectly curated.
So perfectly curated for your own thoughts. And
yeah,
sometimes I'm like, how the fuck does it know this?
I know.
Or just like weird humor, like your humor. Like I will just sit there and laugh my ass off.
Same.
Everything has to come to an end, right? When one door closes, another one opens.
Exactly. That's I'm leaning into the Pisces.
Your
North
Pisces
node.
North Node.
Like I am going to like just trust in the universe. My little community is going to find me wherever I go.
Oh my God. Sorry, can I change the subject? Have you heard of the term decentering men?
No.
I don't know if it's common knowledge or if maybe Hannah Berner, the comedian,
Also don't know who that is,
coined it. I really recommend her content. Decentering men, essentially the gist is anything that you do, it's for the girlies basically.
Okay.
So it's like you're really not going on dates if that's like what's authentic to you. Like the way you dress, like I would say some of the way that I've been dressing is for the girls and not for the guys. I would say this outfit is for you and not for men.
I mean, I feel like I've generally, I mean, when I was younger, I definitely dressed for the male gaze for sure. But like the older I've gotten, I'm like, I'm gonna wear exactly what makes me feel confident, and I don't care what you think about it.
Well, like you haven't been going on dates, and like there's been some things that like specifically not having crushes on people like in real life. Well, I know like Timothée Chalamet's real, but like he's not in my world.
Yeah.
Like no one that I follow on Instagram or that follows me back. Like so I'm not like checking to see if like the 3 guys that I have a crush on checked my Instagram story like obsessively. It's not perfect. So that kind of falls into the same realm. But I would say like having crushes on celebrities versus people in real life, that's kind of allowed me to decenter men. Even like outside of like a relation, like my last relationship, like for a while, I would think like, oh, I really need to like shave my legs, even though like no one was going to be seeing them.
I haven't shaved my legs in a week.
Yeah. Oh.
Love winter.
A week?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say way longer than that.
Sometimes I'll go like 3 weeks in the winter. Nobody's seeing these legs.
Yeah, like I'm not even like I'm in the shower not even thinking about shaving.
Yeah.
I think about
shaving. The only good thing about winter. Like I hate
my
winter,
armpits,
but that's the only good thing.
Because I've been having the BO issue.
Right.
But other than that,
yeah,
nothing's being shaved really.
No shave November.
It's been no shave November for a long time, girl.
That's the only good thing about winter. Like I don't have to shave every day.
I don't know. I've just like been really thinking about this like a lot because it's like kind of it's just freeing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like you've been doing it unknowingly.
Yeah, for years. I didn't know the term for it, but yeah, for years, for sure.
And like when I wear an outfit out, like yeah, I've been trying to wear skirts and stuff, but like it's really not like it's
just stuff that makes you feel good and comfortable and confident.
I can't hear you though. Because I want to feel sexy, not because I want to like think about someone else thinking that I'm sexy.
Right. for sure.
or what have you.
I think that's like the fun thing about getting older. Like everyone, like I mean, there was such a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to, like, I don't like aging. Like I don't like having my next birthday. I was like, oh gosh, I'm 26 years old, you know? But I think like the thing about aging and like healing and, you know, doing the inner work, like it's so freeing to just be who you are, and people are going to love it or hate it. And if they hate it, then, you know, they're just not meant to be in your life.
I have found
just that confidence
that like when I'm truly just being myself, which ultimately is a fucking goofball,
right?
That's when people like me the most.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so you know how like I was saying earlier, how I'm like going slow, like with everything, like sexual, going slow, like that's why I'm like celibate, like I just taking my time with everything. I think it's so interesting that before, like if we think about the person that I liked or was like going on dates with right before my last boyfriend, I cut it off because I thought it was too slow.
Interesting.
And I like liked him, but I was like, there's just something not there. He was like afraid to kiss me, I think. And that was such a big turn off to me. And now I'm like, I'm not saying like I'm like hoping he comes back or anything. I'm pretty sure he's actually in a relationship. The last time
I
stalked him, but
you still stalk him?
No, I stalked him like a long time ago because I was like thinking that he would actually be good for Sage.
Gotcha.
So then she added him, and then because he removed me from everything, and then she's like, he has a girlfriend, and I was like, never mind. But I just like found that so interesting. I'm like, how, like I fully needed that experience to get here.
Absolutely.
Because I wouldn't be here if I was dating someone that was healthy. Period.
Everything is always working out.
Everything is always working out for me, even though it was a rough road.
Right. My favorite saying, everything is always working out for me, no matter how it looks at any point in time.
I can say now, months out from it, that I feel really good.
Yeah.
Could have done without some of the stuff.
But you wouldn't be where you are right now without it.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And feel really good now. All right. Sissy, is there anything else?
No, I'm hungry.
I know, yeah. And they probably can't even see us anymore.
Probably
we're
not.
in the dark here. I have one little light on. All right. Well, I hope people liked this first season 2 episode.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you for joining me.
Side note, I was told I was going to be here. She literally made my plan without me and was telling, we have a group chat with my best friend. I was told in the group chat that I already had plans today, and I had no idea I had plans today because Abby told me I was doing the podcast without even asking me.
Did you love it?
I mean, I can always yap my ear off when it comes to you, so yeah. Sure.
Well, I do appreciate it because I was like, who do I have on as kind of like a little bit of a buffer, a reintroduction to me, and to just really talk about me the whole time.
Obviously.
Someone that loves me so fucking much. The perfect person is you.
I feel so honored.
And I didn't ask anyone else. You weren't a second or third invite. It was the first one.
Shocking.
And by invite, I mean,
I was told
no invite at all.
Like you were my boss and you told me this is when you are coming over. And I said, good to know. Thank you, boss, Abby.
So I appreciate that. And yeah, I guess just for the listeners, follow me at theopepod on Instagram, TikTok if it's still here. If not, follow me in the future TikTok, Redwood, whatever that is, on X. Oh. And if there's anything that you would like to hear more about, or if there's a certain person that you know that you would love for me to interview, always open to feedback. And I feel awkward ending this, like always.
As always. Anywho, we are so happy to have Abby back. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay.